All right, greetings everybody, and welcome to week number 2. That is right, week number 2 of your 7314 class, which is your reference class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. Jace K. Austin, and what we are going to do this week is we are going to, first of all, I am going to show you all how to speed up a check-in video because this is going to be your first check-in video with me in this class. After I teach you that, we'll do a state of the course update, and then one thing that I like to do with the check-in videos in the reference class is I like to go over resources. So typically in this class with the check-in videos, I'm going to do either one of two things. Either I'm going to go over a resource like a database or something like that, and in this case I'm not going to go over an actual database. I'm actually going to be going over Interlibrary Loan and Journal Finder, and I'll talk about that more in a bit. So usually I'll either be doing that or I will be elaborating on an assignment. So that's typically what the check-in videos will entail in this particular course. I know a few of you have had me for other courses before, and the check-in videos would be a little more random, but in this case, they follow kind of a set pattern. Again, I am going to either talk about a database or some sort of resource, or I am going to introduce you to it, or I am going to elaborate on an upcoming assignment. But the unassignment, which is due this weekend, doesn't need a whole lot of elaboration, so I'm not really going to elaborate on that too much. I'm just going to mention that a little bit in the state of the course update. All right, so having said that, I am about to right now show you how to speed up a check-in video. Hold on for 1 minute while I get YouTube up and going. Hold on. Okay, and so let me remind you of a few things first. First of all, I do want to let you all know that I am teaching 2 sections of 7314. I did mention that in the sync session last week, but I think it bears some repeating, in part because I am not going to record 2 separate check-in videos for each section. You all are going to have to share a check-in video, but that is okay. Due dates of assignments and all that stuff is pretty much, well, it is the same in both classes and that sort of thing. And so, yes, I'm going to save myself a little bit of trouble by only recording 1 check-in video, and it will go into both classes. Now, let me refresh your memory. The reason why I do these check-in videos, they are going to be optional, but the reason I do them is because there are basically 2 types of student. There are, especially in the graduate school level, there are students that just want to get the grade, get the degree, and then get that better job. And then there are also those students who really, they decide, hey, I'm paying for this, I'm paying for somebody who is supposed to be somebody who has an advanced degree in the field and everything. They should have some insights and everything that I don't already have. And so I want to actually build a connection, build a dialogue with the instructor of the course. And so for those of you who fall into the latter category, again, these check-in videos are going to be optional, but they do add a dynamic to the class. First of all, the check-in videos are not recycled from semester to semester. So as far as this is the spring 2026 semester, and this is a spring 2026 check-in video. This check-in video will not go to the summer of 2026 or the fall or anything like that. It's not recycled from 2025. These are new every single time, and that is to give each semester its own unique identity, its own unique flavor, that sort of thing, just so that you all don't feel like all you're getting is a packaged course and you just open up a package and there's a course and it's the same course. It's the exact same way that everybody ahead of you had it, and it's going to be the exact same way for everybody behind you. Students do tend to want kind of a experience to where the course that they are experiencing is an experience for them. And so, yes, for the spring 2026 section 1 and 2, but spring 2026 of the 7314 class, yes, this is us. And I will, when it's appropriate, I will talk about current events and things of that nature. So basically, this is something that is updated every single semester, and so it is supposed to be timely and relevant and all of that. All right, so the check-in videos, again, will be optional, but I will record them every week that we do not have a synced session. By the way, our next sync session in this class, I believe, is February the 10th. But I will double check that in a minute. But yes, so if we don't have a sync session in this class, then you can expect a check-in video by Tuesday night / Wednesday morning. Usually I will have them up by Wednesday morning, but I could record it anytime between Sunday and Wednesday. You know, if I'm sick or unfortunately I've got like some court dates coming up, just related to divorce. That's a whole other thing. But all of that to say that when legal things or illnesses or things like that happen, then I might have to skip a week, but I will try to avoid that as much as possible. All right, let's go ahead and show you all how to speed up a check-in video. So I am from the rural South, and as you can tell, if you haven't sped this video up already, I speak very slowly. And so if you actually want to watch the check-in videos, that's great, but what makes them more bearable is if I am sped up. So you can usually speed me up to about a 1.5 speed at least and still understand everything that I'm saying. And I do put these check-in videos in YouTube so that they auto caption. That's an accessibility issue, but then also you might just want the captions, and the captions might help you get through the video a little faster and easier. So having said that, again, you don't want to leave me at the current speed. You do want to speed me up, and here is how you'll do it. But I will put these directions in the course announcement with the check-in video as well.
It is now 8 minutes before 9 o'clock. We've just seen in Denise Richardson.
So let me first say that when I was a kid, this was a popular game show. Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? It used to come on PBS, and it would teach us it would teach us geography and that sort of thing. 1993. Wow. Yes, I was 10 years old at that time when this was recorded, and this was something that I watched in elementary and early middle school even. So let's go ahead and show you how to speed this up. So I'm going to fast forward to when they actually start singing.
Acapella, rockapella.
2, 3, yeah.
All right, so if you want to speed this up, and you will notice that the sound and their movements will speed up when I do this. When you want to speed it up, you come here, go to setting, and playback speed. Again, you can usually speed me up to a 1.5. There you go.
Carmen Sandiego.
Some people do me at a 1.75, some people do me at a 1.25. But you can also slow videos down that way, and you can see how that works, okay? All right, and again, these videos will auto caption in YouTube, so that is another reason why I upload them that way, and that keeps me in good graces with the accessibility folks who want to make sure that our courses are accessible to all of our students, even if they have disabilities or are neurodivergent. All right, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, we will go into that quick state of the course update. Give me one moment, pause. All right, so as far as state of the course update, I am actually in section 1 right now, but section 2 should be pretty much the same with a few differences just related to the people that are in the class for the most part. But aside from that, section 01 and section 02 should be pretty much the same. So what is on the horizon? I am recording this on January the 26th, which is a Monday. And so we're going to click out of quite a few of these to get us to where we need to be. First of all, you should have taken your syllabus quiz by now. That was worth 1 point, and that was due on January 25th at 11:59 p.m. We are going to go ahead and close out of that. You should have also done your first discussion board post by now, and I am going to be getting to grading those soon, but you do not have grades for those quite yet. The partner assignment thing I will come back to. The main thing that I want you all to know is, these things are the things that I want you all to know right now. First of all, the database unassignment, that is going to be due this coming Sunday. So the unassignment, which some of you have already done it, go ahead and look that over if you haven't already. This is not an assignment that's going to need a lot of elaboration, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. I did talk about it, for one thing, the night of the sync session last Tuesday. But yeah, basically you are going to write a small post, and some of you in section 1 have already done this. I have not checked section 2 yet, but for those of you who have done this in section 1, I will say that pretty much everybody has done everything right in section 1. And so if you look at the work of your classmates, section 1, if you look at the work of your classmates, what they have done has met the expectations, and so they will get the perfect scores. So do what your classmates have done. You've seen examples now. You need to do what they've done. One exception, and I don't mean to call the student out, and in fact, I'm not even going to show you in the video who the student is, but just so you know, please don't alter the fields. These actually are the fields that I want. Now, for the student who did alter a field, we have one student who replaced of note with summary. For you, that's fine. We're going to leave that alone. But everybody else, please do the fields as they appear here. So database name, description, 3 unique features, the target audience of your database, some example questions, and then an of note field. Your summary could end up being in the description. And so that's why I don't necessarily want you all altering that and doing a summary instead of a description. But for the person who already did that, you're fine. You're good, because your summary actually isn't really the description. So like, it's different from what you put in the description, if that makes sense. So don't worry about it. You're going to get your full credit. And this is not to shame you. It's just kind of using this as an example to say, yes, please do it the way that it's been presented. But outside of that, everything looks good. And so you all are doing the right thing there. And again, just if you are thinking about wanting to switch, and I do have at least 2 of you between the 2 sections who do want to switch, and I have a few who have already switched. I have one who has already switched, but if you are thinking about switching, if you feel that the database that you were assigned isn't relevant to your career goals, particularly if you are most of these are going to be primarily featured in academic libraries, because I had to do something that everybody already had access to, so I had to go with stuff that Mizzou already had access to. But if you're going to be a K-12 librarian or a public librarian and you don't feel that the database you were assigned is relevant to your career goals, by all means, reach out to me and you can get something that you feel is more relevant to your career goals, okay? Totally fine with that. I want this class to be a growth experience. I want this class to prepare you for where you're trying to go. So I'm not going to make you stick with something that you don't think you're ever going to use, okay? So as far as talking about the assignments that are on the horizon, or the assignment that is on the horizon, that's pretty much where we are. Also, when it comes to discussion board prompt number 2, I do need to say something about this. With discussion board prompt number 2, again, I want you to have 1 post up by this weekend, February 1st, and then your second post up by February the 8th, which is the end of week 3. So for most discussion board prompts in all of my classes, not just this class, you're graded on doing 1 post and then 1 response. That's going to be the case with most of the prompts. This is an exception. With this prompt, you do not get a grade for a response. You can respond if you want, but you don't get a grade for a response. Your 2 points this time around is the post that you have up by February 1st is worth a point. And then the post that you have up by February the 8th is worth a point. So that's where your 2 points come in there. If you have any questions, let me know. And then, yes, we will have that sync session. We will be hosting Jamie Livingston on February the 10th. So this will probably be uploaded in the class on January the 27th. So 2 weeks from January 27th, if you're watching this on the 27th, is going to be February 10th, and we will be hosting Jamie Livingston. Now, a few other things that I need to mention with the state of the course update, because we do have some announcements, and I need you all to be aware of the announcements. First of all, let me reiterate this. I did say this in the sync session last week, but I'm going to reiterate this. You are required to read the course announcements. Now, there can be optional content in the course announcements, such as the check-in videos, which come to you through the course announcements. There can be optional content, but even if the content is optional as far as accessing that content, it is not optional to read the course announcement itself. You are required to read the course announcements. This is in the syllabus, so I can hold you to that. So if you're not reading the course announcements and you miss something because you didn't read the course announcements, that's on you, not on me. All right, so I want that to be clear. But let's go into the announcements, and there are a few things that I want to say. First of all, let's get into, all right, syllabus quiz, don't worry about that. Introductions, not everybody did the introduction right away, so I am going to come back to that. I am going to go into this course announcement really quick and talk about this. First of all, there are 2 things that I want you to know that are in this course announcement. The first being that you do have the textbook available to you by way of eReserve, and this first bullet here, or item number 1, I should say, teaches you how to access the textbook through Course eReserve, and that includes a password right there. it is also available in this library resources tab, and I don't know if you're going to need the password or not to access it from there, but you may want to just kind of bookmark or keep in mind that this particular announcement exists so that, you know, some of you may not even buy the textbook. I don't know. If you are able to get through the class without buying it, whatever. So if you're able to get through with just looking at the e-reserve, that I honestly don't care. Just don't let me know about it. But yeah, so that's how that's going to work. And so if you keep this announcement in mind, you should be able to access the textbook at any time. I don't think there's a set number of simultaneous users, but if there is, I think it's probably around 5 or so. So I don't think it's just limited to one user simultaneously. I think that more than one person can use it at a time in the e-reserve. The second thing that I wanted to make you aware of in this particular announcement here is the guest speaker schedule. So we're actually going to be wrapping up our guest speakers pretty early this semester, and I apologize for that because there are students that like the guest speakers. And so unfortunately, early March, we will have our final one. So we had one in January, we have an early February one, and an early March one. 2 weeks from now, on February 10th, again, we will host Jamie Livingston. She is from the Wolfner Library in Jefferson City, Missouri. The Wolfner Library focuses on services to the blind and the visually impaired, and she will go over some of those resources. This is going to help to contextualize how important it is to provide services to those with disabilities. Okay, so that's why we are having this presentation. Unfortunately, again, she is focused mostly, and Wolfner Library is focused mostly on the blind and the visually impaired, but we do still need to also have library resources for the hearing impaired and for people who have other types of disabilities as well. Again, it's about access, and we want to make sure that what we are doing still makes our resources accessible to as many people as possible. So that is a component to DEI, or diversity, is also making sure that even those with disabilities, they are just as important as everybody else. And in fact, some of you have disabilities. And so if that's you, there's no shame in it. We need to make our libraries accessible to you, and we plan on doing that. On March the 10th, we will be hosting Mary Ann Curtis. She is a middle school librarian in the Metro KC area, and she's going to talk about reference services to K-12 students, as well as how best to support students, teachers, and parents in your role as a K-12 librarian who works with people. Okay, because this class is about working with people. All right, so there you go there, and then we're going to go into this announcement right here. This announcement is going to look different if you are in section 02, but for those of you who are in section 01, in both sections, I tried to put in a course announcement. Please have your introductory post up by Sunday night. I'm still missing a few, not very many, but I'm still missing a few. But the longer you all wait, the less time you have to schedule your actual interaction with your partner, because you are going to have to reach out to your partner and schedule a time with them where you can do the synced part of the assignment in real time. So please go ahead and get that done. If you have not done the introductory post, please go ahead and get that done. This particular announcement right here, the one that says please do your introductory post by Sunday night, that does link you to the prompt, to that discussion prompt, but it's not going to appear here because it is an ungraded prompt. Okay, so please, again, get that done. If you don't do it by Thursday, on Friday, I'm just going to link you up with somebody. And trust me, people have not liked that in the past, because what happens is if you wait, instead of getting somebody, for instance, in your time zone, you might be in California and you might get somebody in New York. And that New York person might be like, well, I'm only available at 8 o'clock in the morning. And those of you in California know 8 o'clock in the morning in New York is what time? 5 o'clock in the morning in California. So it would behoove you to go ahead and do as the announcements tell you to do. All right. But quite a few of you already do have your partner assignments in both classes, and I'm going to finalize partner assignments on Friday, no matter what. So if you don't do the intro post, you just end up with who you end up with. Okay. All right. So that is stated, and that is for the books, and that is the state of the course update. All right. So what we're going to do now, if you want to, you can take a brief break right here. We are at 20 minutes, and then it'll be another 15 minutes to show you the 2 resources that I'm going to show you from here. Pause. All right, and so what we're going to talk about now that we've got the state of the course update out of the way, is I'm going to tell you about 2 nifty little tools that you should have in your toolbox, as not just as a reference librarian, but really as a student as you matriculate through the rest of this program at Mizzou. And these 2 nifty tools are Journal Finder and Interlibrary Loan. So a lot of you are going to be already aware of these things, especially if you work in libraries. But keep in mind, for those of you who are like, well, Dr. Chase, I already know this, keep in mind that not everybody already works in the library, okay? So there are a lot of your classmates who don't have library experience. They don't know a lot about library resources. And so you may get something out of this too, even if you already work at a library, but especially those who don't already work at libraries, these are things that can be useful for them, okay? Now, one thing that I need to make clear before I even go into this is that, again, I will be talking about databases throughout the semester, but what I want you all to realize is that I'm not actually giving you database tutorials. If you decide you want to actually master the database, learn more about it and that sort of thing, then I encourage you to go in there, use your librarian skills to actually do some self-discovery and actually learn how to use the database yourself. Go into the database, experiment with it, play around with it, and watch some tutorials. You can find tutorials of these various databases. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them through Google Video. You can find them in the databases themselves. You can find the tutorials a lot of places. And so what I will do is actually give you a quick introduction to the database and tell you when you would actually use it and when I've used it in my own personal professional experience. But it will be up to you to actually master and get comfortable with the database. Again, this won't be a tutorial. It'll be kind of an introduction and a showcase more so of the database, okay? But yeah, in this case, we're going to, again, do Journal Finder and Interlibrary Loan. And so I am going to show you all, well, I'm going to show you all how to use those things. All right, so let's start out with Journal Finder, why you would use it and what you would use it for. So I am first going to go to the library homepage, which is library.missouri.edu. Hold on for a second. Okay, yeah, sometimes I just disappear, and I hate when I do that. That's some glitch with the recording software. Hold on, let me try to find myself again. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. So I don't disappear on your end. You all still saw me, but I couldn't see where I was on the screen, and that's not good because I could be blocking what I need you to see with my face, and I definitely don't want to do that. And you all probably don't want to see my face any more than you have to. All right, let's go ahead and first of all, when it comes to Journal Finder, we are going to, actually I'm going to pause this right here and open up something so that I can show you something here. Okay, so let's say, and a lot of people do this, so let's say that you are actually starting your research on Google Scholar, okay? I'm just going to throw in something in there, bacteriophage, that should be good. Okay, so when you're on Google Scholar, and there can be a lot of junk on Google Scholar, so we're going to talk about Academic Search Premier / Academic Search Complete in a future check-in video. And there should be less junk in those in Academic Search Premier, but a lot of people will start here, and that's okay. So when you are in Google Scholar, if you see one of these little links to the side here, then that means this should be something that you should have full text access to just by clicking that link. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click that, and I should get the full text access to this just by, yep, and there it is. Just by clicking this link, you got all of that, and so you've got all that information, and you've got full text access, okay? So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, there we go. But let's say you don't have one of these little links, and I'm going to pause until I find one so that I can find myself a good example here. All right, so I'm glad I paused because it actually did take me a really long time to actually find something that I think might be suitable. Now, one thing that I'm going to do, and this is going to make the videos a little longer, so I apologize. So again, this is why you want to speed the videos up. But one thing that I want you all to know is that searching is not linear. So I am actually going to, when I demonstrate these databases and things, when I have searches that reach dead ends, I'm not going to edit that out because I don't want to give you all the impression that, oh, Dr. Jace never has a dead end, but I have a dead end, so that means I must be doing something wrong. No, searching is not linear. You never really know, okay? Especially since libraries are always getting new content and losing access to content that they already had. Those things happen a lot, and you're going to see that throughout your library career, at least as long as databases are the way that they are. We don't know how AI is going to change databases yet. By the way, I need to come back to something related to that. We don't know how AI is going to change databases yet. So, having said that, what we're leaning on now is what we already know, and then we'll let AI do whatever damage it's going to do. But okay, so I think that one of these two hopefully should work. As you can see, I've got two things here that don't have a link beside them. This one is definitely coming from a journal. This, I think Nature is also a journal, but I'm going to start here. And if I hit a dead end, you're going to see it. And I'm going to let you see it so that, again, you know, so that you can be assured that, hey, searching is not linear. All right, but let's say I come here and I'm like, I want this, but I don't have the full text access to the right here. What I can do is I can click this and get the information that I need. I'm going to go ahead and accept just for the sake of time here. And so what I see is that this is from, let's see, I think this is actually the name of my journal here, Experimental Biology and Medicine. But what I'm going to do to double check is click this site right here and move this, and sure enough, that's what it is. You will see right there, if you see this italicized thing here for periodical, then that's definitely the name of the periodical. So Experimental Biology and Medicine, this is the name of my journal, and I need volume 231 in issue number 4, okay? All right, and so what I could do if I want the full text of this, now actually it looks like I might, oh no, okay, good. I was about to say, is this the full text? No, it's not, and they would try to get you to pay a purchase option for that full text, but we are not going to pay for that because that is what our library is for. So let's, instead of paying for this, let's see if we have access to that journal, okay? Again, the name of the journal is Experimental Biology and Medicine. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to go to looking for a specific journal. All right, and I'm just going to copy and paste here and see what happens. So I'm going to grab that. We're going to do this here. All right, that was interesting. Hold on for a second. Now they have changed this interface on me a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I thought I'd click that, but apparently I didn't, but here we go. So as you can see, they do have this journal listed. It is a peer-reviewed journal, but we need to make sure that we have access to the date range that they have included here. So we need something that includes access for 2006. All right. So what we can do is go to full text access here and scroll down and see what we're looking at. And it does look like that 2006 is going to fall within our date range because our date range is from January 2001 to December 2023. So we can go into that. We can click this. And I'm actually going to pause here so that you don't have to watch all of that. All right, yeah, I'm glad I paused all of that because that would have made the video a whole minute and a half longer. So, okay, now here we are. And so now what we've got to do is we've got to find our date and volume numbers. This is volume 231 in 2006. So what we're going to want to do is go to the 2000s here. We're going to want to go through the 2006 here. And we had 231, volume 231, issue number 4. So we're going to scroll down. And we're going to find issue 4. There we go. And then from there, what we are going to do is look at hopefully our page numbers, but I don't see page numbers there. However, let's see if they show up here. I'm going to pause this again because it's loading. Okay, so that is still loading. It's been loading for a while now, but don't worry, there is more than one way to skin a cat. We do know that it's volume 231, issue 4, so even if we don't have those page numbers, which I wanted my page numbers, but even if we don't have them, we don't necessarily need them because what we can do is we can find the article just by doing a Control F. So If I want bacteriophage, then what I can do is, and remember, as novel class of antibacterial agents. So what I can do is I can hit the Control F and just get to it that way. So bacteriophage, and it is actually our second one there, 366 to 377. I should actually have, no, this doesn't look good. It's got to find it right there, and I don't feel I should have to find it. But let's see what happens. Again, searching isn't linear, so thank you for bearing with me. I'm going to pause here too. All right, so again, searching isn't linear. One thing that Kimberly Muller is going to tell you to do if you run into a situation like that where you get an error message is to clear your cache and try again. So I just did that. If it doesn't work this time, I'm going to show you interlibrary loan, and I'm going to try to show you again what I was trying to show you with Journal Finder with a different article. But let's try this one more time. Again, searching isn't linear, so you are learning that firsthand, all right? And I've been doing this for a long time, and I still run into these bumps in the road. So it's not just you, my friends. All right. Oh, I can't believe this. Okay. So I theoretically should have the full text access to this because full text access, again, Sage Journals tells me they have it. But now I'm getting to find it at MU, and I'm getting this lock here. So I don't like this. Let me see if clearing the cache helped. I'm going to pause again. Okay, this is what I thought should have happened. And so hopefully, because now I know all of you are thinking, oh, Dr. Jason's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing. Hopefully this will redeem me. This is what I was hoping the first time, and I didn't get it because my cache wasn't clear. But hopefully now, let's see. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, I'm going to try these other two links, and if this isn't working, then we'll do something else. Restricted. What is going on? Okay. Well, I know this makes me look like an idiot, but I promise you it is supposed to give me that access. But as you can see, even with the 3 full text accesses, I did not get it. Now, we are going to save this because this is what we're going to use for interlibrary loan now. Let's see if I can find another example. Hold on. And sorry about this, but now you know. Searching is not linear. All right, so let's see if this works out instead. So we've got this. I'm going to, again, just accept all the cookies here. All right, and let's see. All right, cool. So they're trying to charge you $32 for this particular article here, but we've got the abstract, and we've actually got the information we need here. Looks like, yeah, it looks like we've got a volume 5 here from 2020. At least I think that's going to be volume 5. That's what it should be there. All right, let's go into, okay, this is also kind of weirding me out. So now I'm just, all right, I'm going to look for something else. Okay, this is, I'm sorry, you all. I know now I'm just getting rid of you. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to try something else. I know this is getting confusing, but I'm going to try something else. Just stick with Dr. Jace. I promise you this will be worth it. All right, so let's try this again. We've, this time, this was another one that didn't have the link in Google Scholar. So we've got this, and this comes from a journal called Trends in Biotechnology. Let's go ahead and try this, and hopefully, Dr. Jace, hopefully third time is a charm here. Let's hope so. All right, I'll pause through all this. All right, Trends in Biotechnology. Okay, we do have that. Let's get our full text access options here, and it looks like we've got 3, so hopefully one of them will work. Let's start with Clinical Key eJournals. This is from January 2007, so this would be right on the cusp here, but it should be included. So let's see if that works out in our favor. Let's hope so, because by now I know that you all are kind of tired of playing with me. All right, so 2007, let's scroll down. Volume 25. What was our issue number? Our issue was issue number 1. All right, so let's scroll down to issue 1. And it was biotechnological exploitation of bacteriophage research. All right, I'm just going to do that Control F search for bacteriophage. Okay, and please, 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 please. All right, that is what we were looking for. That right there is that full text, okay? So again, searches are not linear, and if you hit a dead end, don't blame yourself. Don't walk in condemnation, okay? This happens, all right? But I finally found one that actually worked the way that I wanted it to. So yes, that's how you would use your Journal Finder tool there. And so... yes, I am glad to have pulled that up, and hopefully you were able to follow along with that, even with all of the dead ends. But what we are going to do now is we are going to take this guy here that we were not able to get, and we are going to request it by interlibrary loan. So now I'm going to show you how to do that really quick, and then we'll be done for the night. All right, so let's say you just can't access it. You think the only option that you have is to pay for it. Wrong. We're not doing that. What you are going to do, if you can't get it any other way through Journal Finder or through the aggregate search tool through the library homepage or anything like that, then you do have this option for interlibrary loan. And I am going to show you that right now. Request an item. All right. And then you can log on to ILL. Put your little information in there. And I will show you this. I actually just requested this. This is my own article, and I don't have full rights to my own article, so I actually have to request my own article through the library to get the full text of it. But let's say that you have something like this and you can't get the full text any other way other than paying, or so you think. What you do is you fill out an interlibrary loan request, and that is what we're going to do right now. So what you would do is you would take the information here and you would plug it in here. So new request, we are going to request an article. And you will have to fill out the required fields. That's why they're called required fields. But we will do that, and I'll show you how to do that. So first, we do have our article title here. We're going to copy that and paste it. There we go. All right, article title there. Article author. I really just tend to copy and paste these things, so if I can. Here we go. I'm going to copy and paste that right in there. The journal, and they'll make sense of that, but let me get rid of that. All right, so you've got that. Our journal title, again, was Experimental Biology and Medicine. So we'll put that in there. Volume is not required, but it certainly helps. So volume was 231 and the issue was 4. 231, issue 4. Month isn't required, but year is. So it was April 2006. Let's just go ahead and put that in anyway. April 2006, and then inclusive pages. Ugh. I already forgot what those were, but I think that was in one of our little things here. Let me pause and find that. Okay, so I found that, and that is 366 to 377. And you want to give them, they fulfill like 98% of these requests within 72 hours, between 95 and 98%. So you definitely don't need to give them until March. This is 3 months. This is 2 months out. Let's go ahead and just, usually if you give them 2 weeks, that will suffice. So I'm going to change this to February 14th. No, I want it in English and blah, blah, blah. And then you just submit request. And then what happens is once the request is fulfilled, you will get a little email, and the little email will tell you, hey, your thing is ready to view and download. And I'm going to show you my article that I requested, that I just got today. But I requested this 2 days ago. And you hit view, and then you just have the full text right there. So this is the full text for the article that I wrote. I published this last year. And you would have this for whatever article you just requested. Or if they're unable to get it, you will get a message telling you that they are unable to get it. All right, so there's one more thing that I wanted to redirect you all to, but that was the information that I wanted you to have on Journal Finder and Interlibrary Loan. There's one more thing that I want to mention, and then I'll let you go. Give me one more pause. All right, so the last thing that I wanted to mention really quick, and this is specifically for the students who are in Section 1. One of your classmates out of St. Louis, if you go back to the to the introductions, to the introductions discussion board prompt, and you look at the introductions from your classmates, you will see that one of your classmates from St. Louis is being very open and very, just very warm and welcoming you all. If you feel lonely, if you need a friend or somebody to communicate with, talk to, study with, that sort of thing. This classmate of yours out of St. Louis, I won't name this person because, say this is being shared outside of this classroom, so unfortunately there's a FERPA element to that. But because there's more than one classroom, if that makes sense. Okay, this is actually 2 classrooms, and so I can't share what this classmate of yours said outside of section 1 into section 2. But what I will say is, for those of you who are in section 1, if you need somebody, this is probably a good person to, reach out to and say, hey, I need a friend, I need a study partner, I need that. And this person has been gracious enough to give you their email. So by all means, reach out to that person if you want to establish that connection. Now, to this person, if you know who you are and you are watching this check-in video, if you are okay with me sharing that message with the people in section 2, go ahead and send me a Canvas message or an email letting me know, and I will share that with the people in section 2. But right now, for FERPA reasons, I have to keep it in section 1. Okay, that is everything. I hope you all have sped this up and everything, and that way it should be a little more bearable. It's 41 minutes unsped, but it's about 30 minutes sped up. With that said, I am Dr. Jace, and you have begun the race, your reference race. It is more of a marathon than a sprint, so keep that in mind. But I will be here to guide you throughout the process, and we're going to have a productive and successful semester. Take care, you all. I will see you next week with another check-in video where we will talk about 2 common APA mistakes. Later.